Katherine Cattle Yards is situated only 5 kilometres from the Stewart Highway and only 7 kilometres from the CBD of Katherine. Built in the 1990s as a state-of-the-art dairy, the property has been transformed into the best cattle transit facility in the north. Our large, well-built yards with plenty of water and wide steel roofs provide abundant shade or rain protection. Feeding is efficient with troughs that are easily accessible and also easy and quick to clean. Our 30,000 head capacity gives the cattle plenty of room and allows for keeping different types of cattle segregated. Our well-designed yards, along with the fact all movements are done on horseback, make moving the cattle and checking them easy. We provide the cattle with a quiet and low-stress environment at all times. Katherine Cattle Yards is a full-service, AQIS registered facility. Cattle can be weighed on one of 3 weighbridges, on the modern trailer-length weighbridge, or by deck on the smaller weighbridge near the loading ramp, or individually in the protocol area. The race-mounted NLIS reader and double unloading chute makes loading and unloading quick and easy. Cattle are easily and quickly moved to and from their pens by laneways. Once penned, the cattle have full free access to large clean water troughs. The water is bore water pumped on site, and 2 large 800,000 litre silos provide a guaranteed backup supply. The hay fed to the cattle at Katherine Cattle Yards is grown on site. Katherine Cattle Yards is fortunate to have as its sister company Northern Feed and Cube, which specialises in cattle feed, both for on stations and for live export, and supplies cubes and pellets as needed. Northern Feed and Cube's main focus is producing quality hay that is usually made into cubes or pellets at its Katherine manufacturing plant. Since NFC doesn't export any of its hay, it can use the very best hay it grows and buys to put into its feeds. All the hay fed at Katherine Cattle Yards is grown and harvested on the property. The hay is grown specifically for animal feeds. This means that care is taken to ensure that the hays grown have the highest nutrient values we can achieve. The fields are soil sampled for nutrients before planting, so that anything the plant needs that is lacking in the soil can be provided in the fertilisers that we add. A mixture of manure sourced from the cattle yards and a commercial fertiliser blended to our specifications assures the high-quality hay gets everything it needs to be high in protein. With 4 centre pivot irrigators on 500 acres, hay is grown and harvested year-round and provides the cattle with the freshest hay possible. The hay is then harvested by a contractor using modern hay techniques and equipment. We use a mower conditioner which speeds up the hay drying and retains more nutrients in the hay. If the cattle are pre-export, then cubes or pellets can be easily obtained from Northern Feed and Cube, which is less than 5 kilometres away. This means cubes and pellets aren't purchased in large amounts and stored for weeks in the heat of the tropics. They are made fresh and brought to Katherine Cattle Yards as needed. This means that all our feed is always as fresh as possible. If your cattle need protocoling, NLIS tags, dehorning or any other attention, the staff at Katherine Cattle Yards are well trained and have lots of experience in the latest cattle handling methods. Your cattle will be treated with care and handled with the latest low-stress techniques. With the latest equipment on hand and a large undercover area to work in, any job is completed quickly and efficiently. Katherine Cattle Yards also has a registered dip, and local stock inspectors are close by to clear cattle on exit. The large amount of general facilities at Katherine Cattle Yards allows for a variety of cattle protocoling. An individual scale allows weighing of each beast if requested. Elevated catwalks and non-slip floors are in all the high-use areas to improve cattle flow. The large areas of shade provide cover from sun or rain for animals and people alike. Our excellent loading and unloading facilities include a double ramp and well-designed staging pens, which means that cattle are quickly and easily unloaded or loaded onto road trains. Another plus is that the yards are located 1 kilometre from the year-round access road, meaning they have a calm and quiet location to rehydrate and relax after long hauls. Security is also an important factor at Katherine Cattle Yards. The perimeter is locked at all times, and the entrance gate is locked outside of business hours. During business hours, everyone entering the property must sign in at the office. Finally, the staff at Katherine Cattle Yards is experienced, friendly and professional. Katherine Cattle Yards puts customer service high on its list of services to its customers. Cattle are monitored 24 hours a day, 365 days a year by staff who live on site. Our office staff work hard to be sure bills are correct and go out promptly. Our staff are able to answer all your questions regarding the facilities and our services.
No need to interview me, the yard sells itself.
As our manager says, the yards sell themselves.
The boss gave me a motorbike and said, son, have a go. Well, I know horses back to front, but a bike, well, I don't know. He said there's nothing to it, there was no turning back. Had bigger racks and a buck and bull, but I said I'd have a crack. I had to really kick in to get the bugger going. He roared and jumped into the air, adrenaline was flowing. Had a real hard mouth, kept on pushing through the bloody bit. He slid from underneath me when I spurred him up a bit.